In this segment, using the Exploits Valley High content management system, we're going to focus on how a teacher can create a basic teacher web presence, what options they have to add courses and units of studies, and what options they have to manage files and upload files and either link them to PowerSchool assignments, which are private to students and parents of those courses, or to make them publicly accessible on their teacher web presence here at Exploits Valley High. So let's go ahead and get logged into the administration side of the EVH content management system. Once logged in, you'll see that the option of courses is there and manage. When you go in there, at first there's nothing. If you click on the add icon, you'll be able to see that you have manage and you have add and create a course. So in the course number, it can be alphanumeric, in this case here RST 3205, and the course name is Robotics Systems 3205, and there's a rich text box here that you can use to add information about the course. Now you can use a lot of formatting features. I won't slow you down to look at any of those features. Some of them don't work as well as others, and there are a few nuances about this that you'll discover on your own and then complain to me. That's fine. So let's take a look at it. In the interest of time, I won't have you watch me type. I'm going to take some text that I've already done and I'm going to copy it. There is a little problem when you copy text. It's a little faster than if you had to type it, but as you see, whether I paste or paste as plain text, these options are relevant. It doesn't matter in this case. When I do that, I get a little bit of a nuisance happening here. I get a line break after the end of every visual line of code from what I copied on the other thing. That's a nuisance and a nuance of this rich text box. So I come to the end, press delete, go down to the end of the next line, and basically I will get rid of these line breaks that weren't meant to be there by simply hitting the N key and delete, delete, N key, delete, N key, delete, N key, delete, N key, delete, all the way down through and get the desired format. If you want to break between paragraphs and basic text, leave an extra line. If you're entering here, leave an extra line here and you will get a break. So I'm going to scroll down just so you can see that. This is a bit boring watching me. It's boring for me. Be careful you don't delete unwanted characters till you get used to this. Okay. So don't want that line there. I'll explain why later. Okay, that's pretty close to the shape I wanted at. You can maximize this box and see a little bigger working space, but for the sake of the video I've kept it fairly small. So that's the shape of what I want, and it's formatted in an acceptable manner. So when I save this, basically all I've done is I've added course information. Again, I don't have the teacher thing linked yet till I get a bunch of people with enough stuff there. Students would basically come to this through this method, view the teacher page, and they would see that I have. Now, this is a problem. If I've got a long course name, sometimes you get a little issue here. So basically, Robotic Systems is a bit long of a name. I would reconsider that to RST 3205 in the name as well as the descriptions. Then I won't get this funny thing happening here. A little bit of a problem with web design. So here's the description that I added and some notes. So this would be having a general presence here. Click on the teacher's home and I can see what courses are available. And I can also see that this course is down here in a preview mode. If I have 7 courses, just 7 of them would show down here. Click here to get into the same kind of thing. Now this is very basic. And in some cases, teachers might not want to do much more than to delineate their teaching assignment. In other cases, teachers are going to probably want to add resources such as units within those courses, and that's what we'll focus on next. Okay, so if you're adding resources, you'll see that when you go to manage courses, now you see the course number that you added. If I want to edit that name because it doesn't show up in the menu very nicely, I might be happy enough to take Robotic Systems out of here and say RST because I have a course name that's a bit long, and just leave it RST 3205, and just come here and probably say Robotic Systems 3205 is delineated here so parents and students can know what it is. I might even bold it out and make it a little more stronger presence there. Now when I go back there and I see that, I can see the course name, the course number, and if I were to come back here and refresh this screen here, you will see that it will behave a little better. Okay? Teacher's homepage is spilling down because I resized that. I'm going to fix that so the word you're seeing here is not the robotic system problem, it's actually home here. So we'll fix that later. Alright, let's go back to the management side. Let's take a look at it. When you get into a course, you don't have to do anything else other than that if that's all you want. Just to have quick outlines of your courses, to have a basic web presence for every teacher here. But if you wanted to, you can add things. For instance, there's no units here yet, so let's go add a unit. Units have to start off with a numeric character. It cannot be alpha character. So I'll just say unit 1. The description can be, in this case here, Intro to Robotics. Now, again, I'm not going to have you guys watch me type. I will actually just come in here and probably take something here to say that this unit will cover the basics of all robotic systems. And I'll just save that right now as a description of the unit. Now, if I go back to manage, I can see that there's a unit for RST 3205 and it's called Intro to Robotics, and it has add for other units. I can add edit resources. There are no resources here. I can click add and I'll see I can add a tag for resource. Now you don't have any resources, so what are we going to do? Well, let's go back to resources first. I have a couple folders already there and I can see the files that are in that folder. How do you get files in that folder? Well, first of all, let's go to resources. You can come back to the top level. I'm in the resources top level. That's the beginning of my files. And I see I have a folder for 2 different courses, which I did previously. All I did is from this top level, I would add folder, and I'll just add a third one. And I'll say this is WR3101 as to World Religions 3101. If I go back to Manage Resources, I'll see I have a new folder that I've created, World Religions 3101. Well, that's all you would do. Go into the particular folder and you can see here on the menu that you have breadcrumbs showing you what level you're at. We're at the subfolder called RST3205. Notice up here you'll also see the current directory equals RST3205, which means I'm down a level from the resources folder. If you go and click root, it takes you back. We're back to the navigation root. We're back to root in computer terms means top level directory or folder system. So in this case, I'm up to the root top level. I want to go down into RST3205. Now I can create subfolders here and organize any content that I put here. Remember, this stuff is not visible to the public. This is just your organizational system, and you can do it from anywhere in the world. In this case, I want to add a file to this folder. I choose the file, and I get a pop-up that lets me choose the file on my drive. In this case here, I'm going to go down into RST3205. Where are we? Forgive me for being slow here and finding this. I'll sort by name and then go to the folder RST3205. And I have a bunch of files here that I'm going to use. In this case here, I have a course outline I can bring up. I can also point at a introduction robotics overview. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Is that's got a PowerPoint file. So I select the file, and basically I select the file and I click open. It's not really opening, it's choosing the file for upload. I'm pointing at this file here, robotics overview PPTX, a PowerPoint 2007 or higher mode. Upload file, file successfully uploaded. Click on manage, and I can see that this file is up in the folder 3205 RST3205. I also have the ability to add a tag. Now, the add tags basically gives me the ability to link this file to a unit of study. So I'm going to say Intro to Robotics PowerPoint. And I'm going to select the course, RST3205, and I've created a unit. I'm going to select the Introduction to Robotics unit. Now, that particular file is associated on the public end of my website, as you'll see in a moment, to the Unit 1 called Intro to Robotics, into this course, and that's the name of the link that people will see. That's saved. Now basically what's going to happen, if I go back here to Courses, and I go to Edit, I will see, go back to Courses, and I go into Units, and I edit the unit. Now, when I edit this particular thing here, you will see in another place, under Resources, you will see that there's Files linked. Let's go back here to the web page. Let's just do an update, and I go into Robotics Intro Unit. Now, that was all the description that I wrote earlier. I could have much more description to the unit if I want to. Could have a full page or many pages, not limited in space. And here, I don't have any notes yet, but I do have resources linked to this unit of study. In this case here, I have Intro to Robotics PowerPoint. Click on that, and the students can actually download the PowerPoint, which you can see in my browser. And they can open the PowerPoint if it's not a very big thing here. And you'll see a little bit in this screencast. It's not important for you to see it, but just to prove that it's fairly easy and friendly to the students. And they will be able to view whatever you link up there. This could be a web link, it could be whatever you want it to be. So what you're seeing here now is basically this PowerPoint that I've let students have access to. Alright, so it's not important to see, but you can get the idea that they can do all this stuff and have all this in their link from your course. So let's stop that right there and move on to how to develop